Ladies and gentlemen, before we get started, here at Ivy Talks Podcast Network, we're doing a subscriber giveaway. We'll be doing a giveaway on the 1st and the 15th of every month for $50 for a random subscriber. All you have to do to enter is subscribe, comment on any video, and you'll be entered for a chance to win. And once you do it once, you're entered for life. And it's going to be on the 1st, 15th of every month. A random subscriber will be chosen to win $50. As you grow, that money will go up. So go ahead, subscribe, comment to enter. Enjoy the show. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of the WNBA coverage. We are getting kind of deep into the weeds with it. Teams are starting to separate. We have the Commissioner's Cup coming up July 1st. It's going to feature the Indiana Fever and the Minnesota Lynx. So that's coming up. And like usual, we're going to get straight into it with the standing statistical leaders, and then we're going to go over some awards, performance alerts, highlights, lowlights, all that good stuff, and have Coach Diesel break us down with what we're seeing from a team perspective. All right, straight up standings. New York Liberty for the East. New York Liberty sitting at 1, Atlanta Dream at 2, Indiana Fever at 3, Washington Mystics at 4, Chicago Skies at 5, Connecticut Suns at 6. In the West, the Minnesota Lynx at 1, Phoenix Mercury at 2, Seattle Storm at 3, Golden State Valkyries at 4, Las Vegas Aces at 5, LA Sparks at 6, Dallas Wings are at 7. Statistical leaders, we have the leading scorer in the WNBA right now, Nafisa Collier from Minnesota Lynx at 24.4. Rebounds per game, we have Angel Reese at 11.5 for the Chicago Sky. Assists per game, Alyssa Thomas, 8.9 for the Phoenix Mercury. Steals per game, we have Gabby Williams for the Seattle Storm at 2.6. Blocks per game, Asia Wilson, Las Vegas Aces, 2.7. Field goal percentage, Aaliyah Boston, 60.3 for the Indiana Fever. Three-point percentage, we have I'm going to butcher her name. Tehina, I believe is how you say it.
Oh,
Uh,
Tahina Pow Pow.
yes, Tina Pow is leading in three-point percentage at 57.1 from the
Jesus.
three with the Atlanta Dreams. Free throw percentage, Caleb McBride at 96.3 from the field goal line for the Minnesota Lynx. And minutes per game, Kelsey Plum, 36.2 for Las Vegas Sparks or Los Angeles Sparks.
There
Turnovers
you
per
go.
game, Angel Reese, Chicago Skies at 35.5. So real quick, before I turn it
Wait,
over,
what was that last stat?
turnovers per game.
Jesus.
Yes, 3.5. Angel Reese. Before I turn it over to Coach Diesel to break us down what she's seeing, and then we'll get into some top performers and injury reports. I want to go over some awards that have gone, that is kind of, by awards, I mean like statistical awards, statistical franchise records, things like that. This past week, Skylar Diggins for Seattle Storm moves up to 10th all time in the all time assist leaderboard. Shout out to Skylar Diggins. For Aaliyah Boston, she moves to 4th all time franchise history and total blocks in a franchise, Indiana Fever. And we have Alyssa Thomas reaches the 4,000 career point mark. And
Mm-hmm.
we're going to pass it off to Coach Diesel. What are you seeing from some of these teams?
The separation is starting, like you said, because we're uh, getting a little deeper into the season.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Injuries are starting to hit, like obviously Cameron Brink was out, Vandersloot's out, uh um
Yeah.
Jockwell for the Liberty, that's kind of a big one for them. So, it's kind of starting to take a toll on the players, but the teams that have been performing are still performing at that high level. And then, I mean, at this point, it's just about the race for the playoffs kind of start right around now. And I know some of the teams like the Aces, the LA Sparks now this season. You said the Mystics were what place again?
They were 4th in the East.
Fourth. Yeah, let's see. There's
Yeah,
because
4th in the East.
7 teams. the East. So anyway, like all the teams that are doing average right now, kind of sitting in the middle of the rankings, will start to hopefully make their push, especially like the more dominant teams in the past, like the Aces, little bit of the Sparks and the Mystics. And then from here on out, it's just kind of like a dogfight for the playoffs.
Yeah. And then speaking on the injuries you talked about earlier, we got injuries report. Last week we talked about Vandersloot being out for season. You mentioned Jacquel Jones, who re-sprained ankle. We're talking 2 to 4 weeks. You have Cameron Brink, knee, she's still out, uncertain. DeWanna Bonner out for personal reasons. You
Hmm.
have Nafisi Collier, she's day to day, so we'll keep an eye on there. Obviously, the front runner for MVP. Um, Whereas Sabrina Osku day to day as well, with Brittany Sykes lower leg, Lexi Brown illness, Carrington for Dallas, so I think is a really crucial part to Dallas if they want to go on a run here. She's out with a rib injury. She's doubtful. So like you're saying, you have a lot of players that are kind of feeling the brunt of playing high minutes, high volume.
Yeah, and
Um,
Asia just recently came back from concussion protocol too, and she was out.
yeah.
Um, so yeah, their teams are starting to feel it. Especially the star players that play the big minutes for the teams, which can be detrimental depending on how the teams handle it. Or they can, next woman up type mentality. I do think that the big injuries are like the Jacquel Jones, Vandersloot, Sabrina, Cameron Brink's a big part of the Sparks, especially with Kelsey Plum there now. So if those type of or if those players can get healthy quick enough, or at least to a capability of where they can play maybe a few games here and there and rest when needed, then I think the teams like the Sparks and the Aces are not the Aces, sorry, just the Sparks right now because they're kind of sitting at that like 5, 6 spot, can move higher up into the playoffs, and then hopefully teams uh like Liberty, who have their main people out, their main players out, can won't drop too far in the rankings
Mm-hmm.
and stay where they need to stay to, secure that spot in the playoffs, just and show them that they are still that championship team even without their main stars.
100%. 100%. Now, we're going to get straight into top performers. And this is just from this past week. We're going to go over some top performers. So, Shakira Austin for the Washington Mystics. She's right now, she's averaging 19, 8, 2, 2, and 2. 19 points, 8 rebounds, two assists, 2 steals, 2 blocks, 2.3 blocks to be exact. On 58% shooting, she dropped 28 points, 10 rebounds versus Atlanta, and 21 and 7 versus Dallas, 2 games apart. Caitlin Clark, she's obviously, we know how she is. She has a good chance of finishing the season with a double double. She's averaging about
Hmm.
21 points. She's close to 9, 10 assists per game, and she's shooting about 45-ish%. And I believe she's shooting really well from the three. Angel Reese averaging a double double, kind of how we talked about. Now, the one thing with Angel Reese is obviously increasing her efficiency, finishing a little more, but she's actually, compared to how she started the season, she's finishing better. She's getting a lot better at finishing at the rim, which
Hmm.
is and once I personally, once she figures that out, she can get her field goal percentage, specifically with finishing at the rim, at a higher percentage. She's going to be a monster. So we'll see that go down. Aaliyah Boston, obviously before the injury, she is leading in obviously field goal percentage, and she is dominating boards. She is up there, I believe, in the top 5 in rebounds per game. And we also know that what killed a lot of people last year with the Indiana Fever was the pick and roll game between Aaliyah Boston
Aaliyah, yeah.
and Caitlin Clark. So that's a big. Big ups to her and the success of the Indiana Fever. And obviously, the reigning MVP, Aja Wilson. She is second in the points per game in the WNBA behind Nafisa Collier. 21 points, 9 rebounds, 2.5 assists. She's leading in blocks per game. This past week, she's averaged two blocks per game, and she's consistently again dropping 20 points. I believe she had like another 20 plus in like 10 uh
Yeah, I
a
what
20
is
10 and
it?
5 game
I think it
where
was last night or 2 nights ago she had 27, 14 rebounds and like 2 blocks.
Yeah. So she's moving up I forget the stat, but there's a stat where she's moving up. She's one of the best at 25, at 20, 10, and 5, something like
Mm-hmm.
that. Crazy. And obviously Nafisa Collier, who's the front runner, leading scorer as of right now. And she's pretty much in the averaging a double double right now, or close to a double double for the season. But for this past couple weeks, she's averaging 24 and 10 on 51% shooting. Last but not least, I got a question for you, looking at like some of these top teams, like obviously you have right now in the Minnesota Lynx past the New York Liberty as the number one team record
Mm-hmm.
wise. What team do you think has that potential to make that might be kind of middle of the pack right now? So like I've explained this on the pod a lot where unlike the NBA, it's not based on East versus West. It's the top 8 overall teams, right? So as of right now, the number 1 seed is Minnesota. Number 2 seed is Phoenix. The number 3 seed is New York. The 4th seed is Atlanta Dream. The 5th seed is Seattle Storm. 6th seed is Indiana Fever. No, Seattle Storm. 6th seed is Golden State Valkyrie. 7th is Indiana Fever. 8th is Washington Mystics. And right behind Washington Mystics, Las Vegas Aces are the first team out, right? So it's not East versus West. It's top 8 teams, right? So really, even Atlanta Dream is kind of middle of the pack because you got the top 2 teams are going to be from the West. What kind of middle of the pack team do you think has the potential to make a run as we get into the All-Star break, as we get into the tail end of the season? And then also, what team do you think is kind of right there on the outside looking in? Like you have Washington Mystics, Las Vegas, Golden State Valkyrie, those 4 teams that are kind of right there at that 8th spot. They're all within like a game or two behind each other. Well, what's your team that you think is going to make a wave that's not like at the top?
Honestly, I'm gonna say I'm gonna kind of teeter between two. I'm gonna say the Fever and the Valkyries, cause not gonna lie, I've watched some Valkyrie games and
Yeah.
they are balling.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't count them out yet. I mean, it's the first year, so we'll see kind of how all those players cope towards the end of the season and if they can make that push. And then obviously the Fever, you can't really count them out with Caitlin Clark. And then once Aaliyah Boston gets better, they'll be at full strength again. So those two teams I believe can make a push. And then the Aces are right there at that eighth spot. The Mystics are at nine. Even the Sparks, the LA Sparks, sitting at 10. I believe those three teams have the capability of moving up a couple of spots, especially the Aces. I mean, back-to-back champions. And then the Sparks now with Kelsey Plum. And then the Mystics are just the Mystics. I mean, they can ball out whenever they want to and just, you know, blow you away. So right now it's kind of a toss up, but I mean Fever and the Valkyries I believe can make that push, and then the Aces, Sparks and the Mystics, as long as they stay steady, win the games they need to win, stay healthy, um they can for sure move up. and kick out some people, like possibly the Valkyries, the
Right.
Fever, and make
Yeah.
make their final push.
100%. Is there anything else you want to leave the people before we sign off?
Mm, please watch the WNBA. Okay, the NBA is done, but basketball ain't done. We still got these ladies out here playing their hearts out. So
I'm
please watch.
excited.
Please.
I'm about to put the game on right now
Hell
as
yeah.
we speak. It's a good time. We are full swing. The NBA Finals is done. I'm actually getting ready to record the last episode of season 2 for the
Woo.
NBA coverage. And that means we are full swing. All my undivided attention will be on the WNBA. I'm excited for this Commissioner's Cup. I'm excited for All-Star break. And I'm excited to see
Mhm.
who takes home the championship this year.
Me
But
too.
this has been another episode of DWNBA coverage. We'll catch you guys next week.